haunts me. Can't hide, cannot escape. You drive me so wild and beautiful. You're strong and wonderful. High in the sky, I feel it.
The question was if Team Nigma could play with tempo with their lineup, and we got a resounding yes, they can. And the man of the match, Miracle on his Tiny, he crushed it. What a first game to the series. It is Team Nigma that take the win on this one over OG, who really couldn't get their wombo combo that we talked about. They couldn't really get it working, T.
No, yeah, I think just the entry to the game from Miracle was outstanding. He finishes 37 out of 47 kills he was part of, and they just got sponsored by Etihad Airways, right?
Yeah.
And it was Tiny Airlines the entire time. It was insane. Just every single clip, thank you. Every single clip was just a toss here, a toss there. Where are they going? And just poor positioning. Not even poor positioning. Just
good
constant
play.
Good
constant
play.
good play.
It was
Yeah.
refreshing, really, to see this. It was a solid game of DOTA2. I think OG played all right under the circumstances. Nigma had too much to handle. I really liked everything from the itemization, the way they were playing, both GH and Miracle just popping off.
Yeah.
Item build from Terrorblade as well, I thought was perfect. I was thinking about Dragonlance. We don't see that, we don't remember, but that was pretty core on T back in the day. You can actually outrange a lot of the Deuce's auto attacks. In addition, Diffusal Blade.
There we go.
Yes.
Beautiful stuff.
You liked it.
Really OP.
Loved it, yeah. And then if you ever play against OG, guys, hot little tip: Warlock. This is the hero. A team that wants to group up as 5 and run at you. You pick Warlock, you ban some of the purges, and then they have to itemize for it. So I think Warlock is a hidden MVP as well, just for the anti-OG style.
Yeah. And speaking of OG and team fights, Purge wants to talk to us about that.
Hello, thank you. OG had some good things in mind. Ice Blast combos, there's a lot of damage that comes out of Hoodwink. They can use this to kill important heroes to start the fight off. But this is basically the only time for most of the game that we ended up seeing that happen. Here's Tiny obviously had an amazing early game. Here he's 5-0-2. They get aggressive on the enemy tri-lane with his fast Blink Dagger. GH follows up. They land all their combos successfully. And then it's up to OG to finally do something in response. They rupture Miracle. They try to Ice Blast him. That doesn't fully end up working. They have to roll into him, committing Earth Spirit's life and a Boulder Smash. They put a lot of effort just to get him low. And yeah, they shoot the TB as well, which is nice, but it just feels like it's much, much more difficult for OG to win a successful team fight with the heroes that they have. Tiny can jump in, get kills, start fights off. If they hookshot on top of Thompson, he's going to have a bad time because it takes him time to get through the cogs if he doesn't have his ulti ready. And even here where Medusa goes to like defend the mid lane, Tiny just blinks and tosses him back, forcing the ultimate reaction. It was just time and time again Nigma initiating fights in a much easier way that made the engagement and the rest of the game just feel really simple for them. Eventually, how did this fight start? Oh, they actually jumped on ILTW with the Ironwood branch. This fight felt okay to me. They kill Terrorblade at the start of things. That's what they want. But once again, what happens is Anna turns his ulti on, he runs in, and they all just leave. And it feels like the worst Medusa ulti I've ever seen. I think coming from a different angle here, which gave them some advantage, but look how long it's taking them to kill Kuro. They don't want to spend a lot of spells on him. They don't have a huge amount of single target damage. Definitely one thing missing from their lineup. And once again, GH constantly targeting Thompson, putting him out of position, and giving them opportunities for the eventual rundown. They end up running down both of these two guys, diving under tower. They just got this advantage. They brought it to OG. They took great fights, and they made it so their ultimates were difficult to execute in a strong way.
Thank you very much, Purge. Yeah, I mean, the fights were a little rough for OG indeed to get everything together. And we did say at the start of the game that we were going to take an extra close look on the mid lane. Tiny versus Hoodwink. We don't get to see Hoodwink mid ever. This was the first time, actually, definitely in the upper division of the Western European Deep Sea League. And Cal, what's your thoughts on that after you saw Tiny versus Hoodwink?
It's going to be banished. Sheaves, that was the first and last time. We're probably going to see the Hoodwink mid. I think that you look at Tiny, pretty standard, pretty stable. It's just so much easier to have high game impact. I felt like Thompson was playing the hero pretty damn well, but I'm left still confused as to what it does to win a game.
What does it do to win a game?
Well, it applied pressure with the team.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. They were getting decent pickoffs. He was very active early on. Just this simple discrepancy is Tiny does it independently with a Blink Dagger, whilst Hoodwink needs that +1. And we said during the draft how Ursula Satsuka, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb. And it was like that in the scoreboard.
Yeah.
He had many, many deaths.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because he needed Thompson for his damage.
Yeah,
to come
we
through.
said he needed to die.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
like we knew that was going to be the case already
And
beforehand.
It's that construct of fight that leans more towards just having a casual Tiny going mid with a Blink
Yeah.
doing it himself, tankiness of Grow, compared to a Hoodwink who needs that front line.
And
So-
I will say, it's also, though, I think a return to form. The way Nigma drafted in this game goes back to what they were successful with historically. If this hyper carry Terrorblade that's playing more aggressively, in fact, too much so, dying twice the tier 2. No one, like, even on his side of the map, and he's still pushing the tower.
Yeah.
Rest of the team slaying. I think OG need to simplify it a bit because that draft was more full of memes, it felt like, than a comprehensive strategy.
I am also very curious to find out who Clockwork is going to get, because I feel like Clockwork, we've OG between Team Nigma. Oh, wow, words.
Go Shiva.
Between OG and Team Nigma. Welcome back. It's Dream League Season 15, powered by Intel. And of course, it's the upper division of the Western European DPC League. And I can't wait to see what these two teams are going to draft against each other. We had a little bit of a cutesy draft, I think I can say, from OG for this first game. But
Dire team ban.
two teams are going to draft against each other. We had a little bit of a cutesy draft, I think I can say, from OG for this first game. But they know what to do when they're game down. We actually saw this very scenario last season where OG lost game 1 of this best of 3, and then they crushed Team Nigma the games after that.
Warlock ban. That's what I wanted to say.
All right.
We also saw it at the TI9 Grand Final.
We also saw that, yeah.
And I like this from OG. This is more their bread and butter. As T-Gov so eloquently put at the start of game 1, OG typically utilize damage manipulation in one form or another
Amp on
to
amp on
win
amp, brother.
games
Yeah.
of Dota 2. It's been ongoing since way back when with the Moon Meander squad and Miracle when they were sweeping through majors. Drow Ranger is incredibly underpicked. You can play this mid as Thompson. You can play it safe lane as Ana.
Remaining.
And they got the clock, more importantly, which does start to, it really just feels like the best 4 right now, at least when these two teams are playing.
Yeah, and for Nigma, they come into this draft just automatically picking Tiny once again. They pick the Willow, which is a big indicator simply of Tiny will just be the mid. There's no flexibility here. And for OG, I would love to just see the Drow as a mid lane.
Yeah.
You can apply some type of pressure to Tiny, and it's just annoying when you have to deal with this dual core.
Especially when you're not level 6, you have 0 armor. Laning any sort of rotation, especially from a hero like Clock, might be troublesome for you. The PL ban immediately. Likely going to see them remove a couple more Drow counters as well. And when we see Willow, we immediately think Morphling, but traditionally Drow's always matched up quite nicely against the Morph. I don't know how much that's changed now that Manta Rush is pretty much the itemization of choice. Wyvern hard counter to the Drow in years past. Surprised to see that gone. And I mean, look at the bans from Kuro coming out. Abaddon and Brewmaster. Just because
These are heroes that soak up the tank, right? The fight.
Exactly.
Early, like if you run into this guy, you're like,
5
oh,
seconds remaining.
how do we get through, like kill him, then find the backlines, right?
that's just, I think, targeted because you see the Drow. And this is, again, one of those heroes that creates an identity for the draft. Hasn't really changed much over the years. Drow might have been nerfed, buffed, skills changed, what have you, but the way you play around the hero is still the same. You want a lot of chaos that keeps you away from the Drow Ranger, so she's free to just auto attack.
Are there other 5 still in the pool? Because we saw No-Tail play both the Abaddon and the Brew, of course.
Yep.
Are there other 5 positions that could do the same thing? Other than those 2?
Seconds remaining.
I mean, you can get wild. I've seen Tide Hunter as an example in NA a couple times.
I just want to see a melee 5 that can be that guy, right? Because Clockwork is a reinitiator. Sometimes can initiate with good, like with a good vision, but just a melee 5 enabling a ranged core that can at least run up first and tank.
Axe.
One of the lower division games had a Centaur position 5.
Get a bit carried away now, guys.
Okay.
I think we should rein it in a bit.
Okay, we'll rein it in a bit. We
little
see a
bit.
Lycan ban.
That's a very prescient ban. That's like the Drow counter. And it's also incredibly good against Clock. You cannot buy enough items to survive against a Lycan. He's too tanky. That Armlet Echo build, you're just mowing down towers 15, 20 minutes
It's
in.
unpicked in upper division. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
True.
Like it is an unpicked hero. It's been in lower division.
Yeah.
And we have seen its strength there, but
But that's because, metas are, when we haven't seen Drow. So because we see it here, suddenly there's a whole new pool of heroes that are going to be considered because it's not, say, a Morphling in the opening.
I will say it's very refreshing this season. The difference between meta to upper to lower, it's not as if lower is always just copying what upper's doing. There is a little bit of kind of independence from teams. And I like the fact that, they're just becoming more confident in their own image. It puts kind of Dota in a good position for the future.
Yeah, it's also interesting how different regional strategies, some stay in the region, some make
Lead
it
out,
across
yeah.
the oceans. Like Medusa was being picked all the time in Southeast Asia. We really only saw it start picking up in Europe, like this week, last week.
NA started the Warlock hype.
Yeah, the Luna as well. Thank God that stayed mostly across the pond. That is not a thing.
Yet.
No, Luna, you can't make it a thing.
I have seen a fantastic game of Gorksy with Luna. He won. You lost a lot of subscribers to it, or rather you had to give subscribers.
That's
after the
Division
win.
2.
Doesn't matter, it happened.
Oh my God. It was so
slowly making his way up the ranks. So we have a long time that OG has taken to think about this third pick. What could they be discussing at the moment?
During their interview, they always like to mention that they always have some form of heal within their draft. It's a core component of their lineups. And okay, so they go for Enchantress. Yeah, I was going to say they needed some type of tankiness within their lineup. I like the Ench. You just buy a Solar Crest. You can, if you want to be greedy, you can go for a Dragon Lance for a fight, but it just gives you something that can tank these ganks. You have the vision advantage with the creep always running in. Now you have the rocket flare as well. OG shouldn't be surprised by any gank from Nigma right now. They have all the tools required to at least understand the positioning of Nigma. Of course, Miracle could just see through that and just jump in anyways, but
as he does. All right, Team Nigma, they obviously had a long time to think about their first pick as well, considering the time that OG took, but they also like to take into their own bonus time here with this third pick. Are we most likely going to see Willow for GH and then Tiny just back on mid for Miracle? Because there's not really, like, Kuro could play Willow, I guess, as well.
No, we'll go for okay, Phoenix.
That's okay. So
into the ranged heroes, the combination.
It can be a little spooky. It's nice, but I don't know. Drow against Phoenix, especially you pick up an early Dragon Lance, it's quite easy to eat the egg.
I'd love, in this position, I'd love the clock to become a 5, like we saw Alliance do.
I agree.
Push that Ench into a 4-roll, allow the Dragon Lance player to come into, so then you go Solar Crest Dragon Lance, you then have Drow and Ench be your egg counters, and then it sets up that kind of nice cover for the for Ana and whatever carry he gets, but
it's a real nice Storm game.
What's the Seb hero here?
It's a real nice Snapfire mid game for Thompson. Let's go.
You could just be naming heroes from the pool, and I wouldn't know the difference.
No, but you can kill egg real fast. It's real nice.
Oh, that's a good point.
Although Thompson is the one that plays the Drow.
But also, if you Tiny into Snapfire is a very Tiny favorite matchup. Not for the lane, but in the game, always getting on top of him, preventing him getting the ultimate off.
Okay. They'll end up going for the Juggernaut.
Such an OG pick. Now, it's almost guaranteed, although, I mean, we saw Seb play Jug offlane like 2 years ago, but most likely it's an Ana hero. You're going to have Drow mid. And that, I believe, comes from knowing that it's almost 95% a Tiny middle, and Drow's just fine with that matchup. Both supports really don't add too much either. Theoretically, you could get a kill with a nice toss back into a Bramble, but easier said than done. You'll need some levels on the Tiny to get that through.
Yeah, OG had a very similar draft when they played against Team Secret in the first game. And the only thing that we are lacking so far is a tanky offlaner. They had the Darkseer last time around, obviously banned.
You know, it could be a great Furion game. I don't know if that's something anybody wants to pick nowadays, but I swear, Mind Control, Nature's Prophet is one of my favorite hero player combinations. Traditionally, very good against Jug in lane, and very good against Drow throughout the game, because you can clear out the tier 1 so quickly and really limit the amount of space she has on her own side. So alternative, there's always an Axe, you know, your standard Blink Initiator. You could go for a Slardar.
I'm kind of just trying to think about this Enchantress, and I think there might be more to the pick than we're currently giving it.
Okay.
Like, potentially it could just be like a core Enchantress here, where you have Clockwork Ench, like a 7 Enchantress. You apply a lot of laning pressure, and it gives you that kind of clumping.
Yep.
He's played it a couple of times in his pubs, potentially, and he hasn't won with it though. But again, I have this kind of maybe like a gut feeling this could be like a play they make, just they're grouping that tankiness and that run at you style. But of course, they just pick up the Spectre.
Yep.
It is a classic counter to Drow. Always being able to get on top of the Drow, mitigate the ultimate coming into effect, because when heroes are near Drow, it removes that.
However, not great against the Juggernaut. It doesn't really allow Nigma to play with as much tempo. Their team fight's going to be fantastic, but
styles changed for sure.
Exactly. This is a slower approach, right? And I swear, Kuro does this to me every series, because they'll come out the gates in the first, they'll crush.
Swinging.
So, like, always with the
adrenaline pump.
Yeah, doubling like 2 kills a minute. And then the next game's like, all right, guys, that worked so well. Let's slow it down. Let's farm. Let's play for the 40 minutes plus and hope for the best. And now it'll be OG, in theory, in the driver's seat, able to play aggressive. Max ban. I'm telling you, man, I think MC... I want a Furion because it allows them to play quick. Is Darkseer in the pool?
Nope.
The Darkseer banned out. They banned out themselves.
What?
all the offlaners pretty much
Could
banned
just
out
go
in the
for a
final.
slow
They've obviously played Darkseer, Bloodseeker in the previous game. Still in the pool.
Yes!
There you go for it.
They did it, baby. There we go. We don't see this ever, but I love this pick because I didn't want just a standard initiator, and we're like, oh my god, it's going to be slow. Now they have easy tower damage,
they just got Underlord.
and yeah, puts OG into a spot where like, okay, we have to now still be the ones that limit the pressure, but man, this is a TI draft right here. Both these teams know what's on the line.
Yeah, I think just the response though from the Furin and then the Underlord. The Underlord covers them pretty nicely because that early pressure, it's all about just having the right matchup. Underlord goes to the right lane, defends the tower. And I think the key thing for Nigma is it's a completely different script from game one. This game, if Miracle jumps in and they have ultimate from Spectre, they should be able to find a kill. But then it's not like there's layers of initiation coming in through. Like a lot of ranged heroes. So it's all on Spectre to have the items to cushion that jump with Miracle. On the flip side, OG, Thompson gets 1 or 2 items. He pairs with Anna with an active item. They're going to be pressuring non-stop. So yeah, it's all on Nigma to choose the right fight. If they ever waste a Haunt, if they ever give up Roshan, this game can get difficult and back and forth.
It's OG with the insane choke point control and just all around sustain and long team fight.
Yep.
Whereas Nigma, they want poke and prod, skirmishes, they can abuse global TPs. They want to take towers early, and the game gets way simpler for them. But taking 2 tier 1s before 10-12 minutes while maintaining control of their own is huge for them in this game.
And we said that they might want to slow things down with the Nature's Prophet. That's no longer the case, right? They can still set high tempo.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to push OG around the map, opening up the map for Spectre to farm. And that's the key thing. If Spectre can get to a couple items, this will be a very close game.
I think it's a man-to-field game, and all of a sudden Thompson gets hopped on, and it's like,
I heard close game. I'm excited. Looking forward to this game too. Let's see if we'll get a game 3 out of it as well. We're going to find out together with OD Pixel and Fog.
Thank you very much, Steve. We are indeed. I mean, what do you reckon, Fog? We saw in game 1. Didn't actually end up as maybe close as we expected. Nigma looking to be that little bit ahead of OG in the opening of this series. Here in game 2, what do you reckon? Do you think the panel's right? Are we going to see a closer game, or could one team start to get the lead pretty early?
I think it's just a completely different style that's coming out here. We do see still a lot of team fight aggression that's more dominant on the side of Team Nigma, but OG does have very strong group around with this Underlord. And the way they do play with the Jug is also very early aggression, right? We've seen from Ana a couple times now where he goes for like the early Yasha. He just looks to join his team early on, so could be successful if they're able to actually set up for these pushes, but yeah, Spectre and Nature's Prophet, 2 heroes that we don't see too often anymore. There's global presence around the map to be able to join this constant aggression that we do expect to see from Miracle again. And he's got good targets.
Absolutely.
He's got some pretty nice ones, but also some tough ones that are just too tanky or he can't burst down. Jug, Underlord, Clockwork could be problematic for Miracle this time.
Sure. I feel like, again, that they're going to have to do quite a lot to try and keep Thompson safe, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of heroes that are going to be getting in the face of the Drow Ranger.
Absolutely. That's why they do go for that pick with the Spectre, and I'm glad to see this Nature's Prophet. I know Kyle was begging for it. He's been asking for it like every game that he sees My Control playing. He's like, please pick Nature's Prophet.
So why have we not been seeing much of it? Were the nerfs really that significant?
Sure, this was a
Yeah, I mean, they definitely hurt, but we just don't see it in this region, really. Like, we see it in other regions quite a lot, but it has been nerfed on the treants quite a bit here. And it is playing versus an Enchantress, so Enchant, you can take over one of the treants, you can be a little bit annoying inside of that lane phase. Kuro and Saksa duking it out. And yeah, eyes on Saksa.
I mean, it really is. As you were saying last game, we saw previous series, Saksa absolutely pop off on the clock. Previous game, though, of course, we saw GH give quite the showing. So we'll see. Saksa definitely after that game when you could tell he was probably looking at GH and going, I can do that too, and I'm going to show you.
Doesn't feel as easy for him versus the heroes that he's up against, like sticking on a Spectre. Spectre can play around it, being able to dagger out. Tiny, quite tanky. Phoenix has a way to play if you time the dive between these battery assaults. Willow, you can go Shadow Realm. He's dead.
Easy first blood there for Mind Control. Just right clicks, no tail out the lane. He'll die for it, but hey, it's first blood.
Okay. And that's why we see that Mind Control Nature's Prophet.
Stands there, right clicks him. Easy kill.
Yep. Missing a lot of last hits down here right now, though. Does get the one with the treants, but we will see lane cutting coming out from Saksa, so we'll get himself off to a good start himself. I like that voice. Yeah, let's see how this mid matchup ends up going. If he's gonna actually be able to slow down Miracle at all. Feels like Miracle should just be able to farm quite well, but Thompson, we've seen what he does on this draw. He goes what 1-1-1 and then stats for the first like 7 levels or so. Until he hits level 7, then he gets, I think, 2 points or 3 points, and then he starts normally leveling his skills up. But tries to get that stat advantage, at least in mid lane, quite early on, from what I've seen. And as immediately, yeah, he takes stats. So 1-0-1, stats put into the point onto this Drow Ranger. Does he have Miracle? Constant aggression coming out onto him, so rune control will be important so that he can keep the sustain up, but should be able to with all these water runes. Thompson's gonna definitely look to contest them.
Radiant's middle
fine.
tower is under attack.
A bit of damage on target to W here
A
with the
lot,
fire
yeah. Playing around his creeps though, LTW nicely. Does allow Kuroki to get a pull, but Kuroki actually misses quite a bit of them. He only gets the 1 melee creep, not the melee plus the range that you usually dream to get as these half pulls. But it's a Spectre lane, so it's always going to start a bit slow, especially into Underlord. You just see this base damage advantage, 80 plus on the Underlord, 56 on Spectre. So ILTW will have a much slower start this game. And they can't actually get very aggressive up here. So OG should, I mean, it does look like they should come out quite effectively in at least 2 of the lanes. Mid, kind of a trade-off. Yeah, but Jug is a pretty decent hero to be able to deal with the harassment that comes out from both Nature's Prophet as well as Willow.
GH.
I'm not sure.
Go for
It was a
No-Tail,
smart
but
move.
No-Tail
Radiant structures
What I
is
think.
actually going to
Oh,
turn.
gets the realm off.
He will, and in fact, with the
Be able to turn for him.
brown balls, is he going to be able to do this, GH?
Bit low on mana, 4 short.
very fast.
Slow.
High
Sentry
down
for
there.
vision.
But they've got him. GH gets the kill.
Banshee, look at the ghost. It's chasing him out. I think he's going to time out before he dies. 2,
Oh,
1. He will. Look at GH, he even smiles.
There, GH.
He laughs himself.
Saxter gets the global snipe there with
What a
level
play.
1 rocket flare.
Oh, that was so nice. Doesn't skill the cogs because he's versus that Spectre lane, so it's a bit tough to actually land him. Goes for the rocket. Super nice there. Gee, I love how you see the camera and GH is just like, all right, respect
I
to
mean,
that.
that's, yeah, you know, you got to accept that.
Dire are scanning.
Looking like 3 successful lanes. The Drow is coming ahead. He's getting his runes checked for him too. Miracle will get his bottle filled up from GH. Try to enable him a little bit better. Maybe getting aggressive too. They do have the boots and the bottle. So Saksa is going to have to zone them away a little bit from this Thompson Drow to protect him. And they won't be able to get Saksa either. Super tanky Clockworks. 860 HP at that level 3. And we do see 1-1-1 on Thompson plus stats. Going straight for the treads.
Yeah, able to keep that slight edge on Miracle in this matchup. Very close though still.
He's actually got the same base damage. It's pretty cool. As another stun coming out. They don't have the combo just yet. They're over onto him. 2 seconds, the gust pushback. And catches Saksa.
Bring in mind control in as well. They'll be able to get down the sprout, block off Thompson's route of escape.
They get the courier as well. And Saksa, battery assault not as effective when there's so many creeps around. This Treants as well. We'll drag the wave.
Another sprout mind control, buying time for Miracle to close in.
Couple more hits. They got an avalanche or a toss. They don't even need it.
Another bramble. They've got the kill. Nigma bringing the action in mid here as mind control's ready to get active across the map.
Does mean that bottom, OG have to play very aggressive. Kuroki's trying to sap this XP down here. It's triple range creep that is coming down. Kuro still has the dive. Ana will try to push away, but takes 2 tower hits.
Just taking some tier 2 tower hits here.
And he gets the healing ward with the dive. Nice play from Kuroki.
Structures are fortified.
Looks like one get the tower for now. You see Nigma. They're bringing additional numbers down because they know that OG's wanting to stick around to get this tier 1.
I'm not sure. It was a
GH and
smart
mind control are going to look to fight
move,
for
but I
it.
think
They're gonna get it. Do they get the deny? They will. And now Ana,
I mean, he can't get out.
he's in a weird spot. He's very dead. Picks up his phase boots before he does die. But yeah, Kuro.
I mean, we're seeing signs already sort of similar to the last game where Nigma's just turning out to be a bit more of a more killers than OG's able to in the early game.
Especially with this more passive style lineup too, with like a Spectre, with your Nature's Prophet still looking to get very involved early on. And now it does give some space for ILTW. He's now in a 1v1 matchup versus the Underlord, so both of them will be able to maximize, bring a health picked up on this Spectre, so he's able to sustain fine versus Seb. But Seb will come out a little bit ahead because he can pull some neutrals into with these.
Dire's top tower is under
And let's see how
attack.
active Miracle does get, because as we know, he's level 6. He's got his phase boots. He's looking to hunt. How close are we to mind control level 6 too? So the Wrath of Nature almost online too, so that burst
Radiant are
potential
scanning.
bit higher. Might catch OG off guard here when Miracle does find a target.
No, that's true, actually. Yeah, that sort of extra bit down on top
Ooh.
of it all will do it.
And look at this wraparound. He's actually the one carrying the wards because he's the one who's making the moves around. They have Phoenix who doesn't want to actually go to place ward, so they're giving it to Tiny, who's going to be constantly moving around looking for these plays. So I just like that they do these kind of plays. I love giving your cores wards. Brambles again.
They're in onto Saxa. Saxa, he's trying to run. He's got the stick charges, but the hit comes through from the Shadow Realm.
And they
GH
want to
still to
both.
take him down.
Can they actually get onto No-Tail as well? Gonna be close.
I mean, Anna's trying to come across to help out. She used the Blade Fury here to make sure they don't set up onto him off the back of the Cursed Crown.
Dire's
So now Seb will try to push top tower while all this
Well, No-Tail came
pressure
back
is
in.
happening. He did.
He steps back in. Courage just in with a dive and a few spirits, and they get the kill on No-Tail.
Look at this aggression. Team Nigma. Now Miracle maybe steps up too far himself. Saxa, can he get close enough? He can. Face boots. From Miracle the Wrath to push them away. Thompson's quite low here.
Radiant's bottom tower
Miracle's definitely
is
thinking
under
about going in with GH here.
Dire's
Got the Gust.
are fortified.
Sax as well at the side, trying to offer up some sort of help. Anna, and even with a healing ward, they've got the combo up with the Sunbrace enough to take down Thompson.
And Miracle's too fast. The phase boots plus the faded
Yeah,
brooch.
Anna can't
Turns
chase
away.
him. Miracle's out with the TP ready to reset back at the base. GH will get left behind underneath the tower. He
got
himself
Shadow
might
Realm.
be able to make out as well. Yes, Shadow Realm's popped. They won't lose either of them here.
And they even take the haste rune away. The speed that Nigma is playing with 8 kills at 8 minutes already. And they take the bottom tower too with the rotation from ILTW.
Oh, they're playing it even faster than they were in game 1 here.
Yep. Getting the Spectre involved nice and early too. Seb, as we said, he's having this free game, so let's see what he makes of it. He's going to go for Hood so he can always survive the brunt of the pressure, but that does mean that it's all up to Saxa to be that initiator again. Just like last time, we saw him die so many times on this Earth Spirit last time because he's the sole initiator on his team. So similar approach this time around from OG. Nigma setting up for the defense to level 5 on the Willow.
Yeah, hard for OG to push in here now.
Yeah.
Still not quite having the 6 on the jug.
Nope. And there's a Wrath of Nature available again, too. So, Miracle, he's got that extra burst every time he looks for somebody. And he's so speedy. He even picks up a casual Windlace with the brooch.
Oh,
when he's
Saxa.
phasing, he's 461.
He's stepping up and just get the cogs off in time, so Miracle won't find the opening for the combo.
I'm just gonna bug out.
That's a good one, actually. I like that one quite a bit. Miracle.
Saxa's hunting mind control. That's found him here. Mind control. He's getting held back here by Saxa, but
Only level 4 on Saxa, though. The damage is not
anywhere
quite
near
there.
enough damage to take down mind control.
No. And he also has phase boots, all these little bits of movement speed. Definitely working out for Team Nigma. Stop the small aggression. And Seb comes up to try to defend this tower here. That does mean Spectre. Full free farm bottom. ILTW getting little to no pressure now in this game.
Oh, here we go. Nigma. Ready to run it. No-Tail.
No-Tail. I'll see you later.
Well, he's dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He is.
Oh, and a creep as well.
Extremely
Look at
dead.
that. These deep early wards that were released.
Thompson!
Now Thompson, the hunt.
He wanted a rune,
Oh,
but he's
he
ended
won-
up getting 4 years.
Gust?
He's going to go for the TP out. Is he away? He's not.
No.
Dominator, I guess.
They've got him.
Look,
Curse
this is
Crown will put him to a
KPY.
stop as Miracle gets the double.
He's running away with it again, this time on the Tiny.
Tiny, he's having a fantastic series already, off to another brilliant start. 4-0-1 on the Tiny.
They're looking to fight up top. The DD on the Tiny too. Saxa
Radiant's
only
middle
level 4
tower
still on the
is under
clockwork.
attack.
They will purge off that DD from Miracle.
Miracle still trying to get the grab here at the toss on of No-Tail. He's got the kill.
And they've got the heal.
Sunray coming in from the side. They'll be able to start doing the damage here to Saxa and Seb. Miracle is a little low on the mana. Anna leading him with the Blade Fury, but Miracle, as you say, with the movement speed, he can get away from the jug. He's looking to close it on to Saxa. Saxa will drop down the cogs. The Avalanche grabs him. Saxa in
Look at the egg.
They're popping the egg. OG, they can't commit for the egg. They'll have to turn look for kill opportunities with the Omni Slash, but at this stage, it's nowhere near enough damage. The Supernova Stun catches Anna as he comes out of the Omni Slash. And it's just more glory here for Nigma. 13 for 2. 4K lead. They're just not slowing down.
It's a stomping. The Omni Slash comes out, but it's perfectly timed with Kuroki getting that egg to connect on him as soon as he lands out of it. Gets stunned instantly. And yeah, they're just so under-leveled at this point. Like, just bring him up. Level 5 on the Enchantress, 6 on the Clockwork. Ana is level 6 at this point on the Jug.
He's struggling. They just can't get him the space.
Look at the Willow, 7. Nature's Prophet, 7. Phoenix, 7. Just excellent moves from Team Nigma to set them up for this success. Such deep early aggression and deep early wards that have not been countered. The triangle, it's been warded for a full 7 minutes now. Not taken out. Those early wards that we did see Miracle place has been phenomenal for him. And he's got the Blink Dagger done in a second after this bounty run. So it's just going to keep picking up in pace. And ILTW is just free farming. No pressure on Spectre whatsoever this game now.
That's terrifying.
But now they are setting up for him bottom. And he's very low on mana. He's very deep as well. And they should be able to get him this time. Get themselves back a little bit here.
That's what OG can do with this. Spectre gone. I mean, it's just Anna's not
so
quite
far
ready
behind.
to fight. He still just needs a lot of time, a lot of space.
Yeah.
He is not going to want to get involved for quite some time here, at least until he has his first item done. Even then, you know, the jug, it's really, you know, pre-Maelstrom, SMY, you're not going to have a good time turning up to the fights, especially when the enemy team is sort of an item ahead.
He also could just die. They do spot Miracle with the ward, but he does have to be careful. Even though he's got like 960 HP, which is supposed to grab him from the combo. They have the Wrath of Nature's mid. Heals coming out. The Shadow Realm versus the Clockwork.
Yeah, they're fine. They could look to turn. The silence just come in from the side as Thompson will be able to bring down GH.
Thompson's still getting a little bit here. As top, they know where Ana is. He's gonna spin TP out.
For the most part, that is going to pretty much save him each and every time this game.
Dire's
As
middle
long as he can
tower
get it off before he gets jumped by the combo opening of Miracle's Tiny.
And he did TP to the mid tier too, so he can join his team to potentially go for this tower push. But all of Team Nigma, they are set up in the area, and Miracle is just waiting at the wings for someone to step up too far for a toss back. They will have to back away. Grouped up though again, still smoking. Looking to play around this ward. Might be able to catch my control here. Sox has got hookshot in 10. Might not even have to use it if he can just wrap around from behind.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're just running right onto him. My control. Goes for the TP, but he'll get caught here. Lutza pushes him away, right into Ana. Oh, the damage. It's close, maybe to get him.
Yeah, to run the opposite for this now, maybe Nigma could come in for some sort of cleanup.
Miracle? Percent damage.
Oh, it's actually OG. They're going to continue to clean up, and with the TPs up to top, they're looking at more. Kuro's able to dive away. Seeing OG able to kick back pretty hard. You know, they get ILTW down bottom and then back up on the top. They're taking down Mind Control. They're taking down Miracle.
Yeah, they can't underestimate the amount of damage that this Drow still can do. Thompson still not having a bad start at all. His Dragon Lance, he's got the Blade of Alacrity, and they always will have Firestorm. Percent base damage versus that Tiny will always be extremely effective. Miracle does have to watch himself as he gives up a big kill streak. Satsa.
Radiant's bottom tower
He's getting surrounded, and the Brambles.
The Brambles, you can't escape this, Sprout. You know, that sort of combo with the Brambles down, you can cut yourself out of Sprout, but there'll be a Bramble waiting for you.
And definitely seeing the points as to why they did go for this Nature's Prophet. You know, these just even the treants are very problematic for a Clockwork to play around. As a ward does go up, they're looking for Thompson. He's tanky now though, 1600 HP.
Radiant's top
Got
tower
the 5
is
stats
under
plus the 2
attack.
points that he has put from earlier.
Radiant structures.
Tough to bring him down. That's all. I know in the back the T is going to be very happy from the item that my control queued up on Nature's Prophet. He's been raving about this one. The Aghanim's Nature's Prophet, if he does go for him. That global root, quite effective.
Oh, so it's a long duration as well if you can get the bounces right. And, you know, Mind Control will. He knows how to hit hard with the Wrath.
And it lowers the cooldown is the important thing too by 25 seconds. It goes down to 60.
So that's a big difference.
Very frequent. Side of these fights, as we've seen, Team Nigma wants to play fast. And Doxa, a little bit tankier with the cloak, but is it tanky enough?
The stick charges up.
It is tanky enough.
It is. The fear comes out. He'll get pushback. He has got a hook shot if he wants to try and get back in and start Miracle. He can try, but just misses. Very, very close, but not able to get the connection as Nigma will manage to back off. Whether there's anyone here.
Cloak does keep him alive though. The Clockwork, Ana.
Then we had to commit him for this as Miracle. quickly out with the jump.
It's so much space, though. Where's ILTW been, right? He's just chilling. He's having an absolute free time. Sure, he gets picked up the ones from playing just a bit too aggressive, but the way that Team Nigma's playing, just this constant aggression, it's forcing so many moves from OG to react to it, so they can't actually put attention onto this Spectre.
Oh, those free fire Spectres. Definitely going to be a problem down the line here for OG.
Seb still knows that he is just too tough for them to deal with, just still too tanky, even though they do try to jump onto him.
Nana, how's he doing here? Still playing the catch-up game.
Yep. It's going to be quite some time before he does feel like he's back in it. And there's it is a Jug versus a Nature's Prophet too, and so in these fights he's got to watch out for a lot of Omni Slashes. If these Treants are around, they'll soak quite a bit of it if he can. And there's just not a lot of easy Omni Slash targets for him. He goes in on a Phoenix, there's an egg that can come out. He does it on Spectre, it's not the most effective. Willow, you pick Shadow Realm. Tiny, quite tanky. So it is going to be a hard game for Ana for sure. It's a 5k gold advantage with the late game advantage too, with a Spectre and a Phoenix in the draft. You can just feel that Team Nigma is in an incredibly comfortable position this game.
Yeah, those sort of kills on the cores that OG were just able to find, just not nearly quite enough to close up that advantage.
Look at this top. They're all here on Team
Just
Nigma.
straight in with the jump. Onto Notel, they burn it down with the Sunray. He's gone set. He's going to look to try and rift out. They got the damage to take him out in time. Oh, he's away.
Very close.
It is.
I wonder if Kuroki queues up the Spirit Vessel now. He's got a lot of gold on this Phoenix right now. He already has the urn, so could be a pretty nice pickup if he does go for it.
Well, Thompson.
Is he gonna actually get brought down here? Hook shot. Oh, the stun actually potentially saving him there, Saksa.
I think it might have, yeah. If they were able to get a few more right clicks in, they would have managed to take Thompson down, but Saksa getting in, disrupting them, getting the right clicks on.
Ana, Invis up, potentially trying to look for something here, but...
Oh, can he go for a solo on this slash?
No,
it's
no,
level
no.
2.
It's 16 armor on this Tiny.
That's true.
Way
That's
too
true.
tanky.
Even with that magical burst, it's not going to be enough.
Nope. OG will find themselves a nice Philosopher's Stone. They don't have that superhero that does carry it, though, like the Phoenix that we do see a lot of the times. It's, of course, an excellent pickup for them, but... As Kuroki, okay, he's actually going to go Holy Locket. So the Sunray heals, they're going to be impactful. Been seeing a lot more of these pickups on these, and just like everybody, actually. Holy Locket overall is just becoming a lot more popular.
No, I like it this game when you have that beefy core, right?
Yeah, you
are just looking to just buff up completely. I mean, if Kuro is able to find an angle to sit back and just fully Sunray up,
yep.
RTW, good luck trying to kill the Spectre.
Even just the wand charges that you can pump into him too. Spectre is a hero that does use quite a lot of mana with your constant dagger spam as DH. The Yules.
He's able to get the Shadow Realm up, but he's pushed back into the root. He'll manage to root them himself. They got the arrows flying through from Thompson. GH is looking to get the fear off. He gets
he actually gonna live?
He's gonna live.
Oh my goodness.
GH is away.
He can't even kill the Willow.
It's gotta hurt. They need these kills, OG. They're just slipping further and further behind against this Spectre lineup.
And mind control, he's got Ags. So we've got that global root coming into play too that can be quite problematic.
Ags on the Prophet, Echo Saber done on Miracle, so his combo now gonna have that additional punch to it.
And ILTW, Blade Mail plus Manta already finished up, queuing up that Diffusal immediately afterwards. This game feels super hard for OG to win any team fights. They can get small pickoffs, perhaps, with the Drow, but fighting overall just feels quite impossible.
Snowtail.
He's just burning.
He tries to go for a poke onto Kuroki. He's just dead. He can't mess around with the Phoenix.
Oh, and they find Ana as well. And it's an Ancient stack on top.
Oh, no. That ain't great here for OG.
And they have Manta, so they can go into Roche. There's no Jug for 35.
Looks like Thompson will still be able to clean up the bigger of the Ancients, but
they're going to get a Roche for it, so...
Hey, I want 2 members down on OG, and even when OG has the full team up right now, they are still struggling to fight Nigma as a team.
This is one of the... Nigma's just playing the most aggressive I feel like I've seen all season.
They're going to try and start things onto Miracle. And Miracle's going to have backup. He can just stab his ground and drop the combo onto Seb's. The Supernova coming out. Seb's got to back away. He's going to pop the ult. He's trapped in the sprout, and they got the damage they do. Seb's not getting out of this. Seb and Saxon will fall. Miracle is ready to go for more. Jumps out, Thompson able to push the back with the 4-man goes, turns towards the Tiny. They'll bring down Miracle, but Thompson's going to die for this. RTW stays on top of him. Notel trying to bring down GH, but GH back into the Shadow Realm. He's away. ILTW will forward dagger into the trees to keep himself safe.
Control.
RTW's ready to go back in. He's looking for Notel, but the healing ward's out. It's a lot of sustain and heal here for Notel. RTW alone will not have the damage to get this kill.
They do get the one. They prevent the roast from being finished.
Cost them a buyback,
It does cost them a buyback, and they do lose the cores anyway, so costly. As roast, they're going to be able to go back into the roast.
If they can get it themselves here.
Okay.
Then the buyback is going to feel pretty good if they can secure this, but GH waiting at the side. He has got the fear.
He does.
So he's ready to mess with them.
They're going to have to spin, but that means that they don't have the damage
That's
to bring
an early
it down.
spin.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got to be careful now.
Miracle back up. Wrath of Nature back online too with that Aghanims cooldown.
Everybody to the pit here right now.
Yep. And Kuroki, he's got the 20 Holy Locket charges, so he can pump up, and then he's got that increased heal, of course. Egg is on cooldown. It's still very difficult for OG to walk right in.
Players here.
Anna really wants to get this rush done.
They're scouting nicely with the rockets, at least onto the high ground. LTW. Froze face for a second. Starting to work on it.
They're trying to take it here, OG. Healing ward down, Miracle then straight away the jump onto Anna. Anna's able to get the flamethrower off in time. Sunray's coming in, though, out to the side of the healing ward. Anna has to run. He's very low right now. LTW is standing in the road, but he's trying to finish Roach. Can he do some time? Time will get killed, but Thompson's able to snatch the Aegis as Thompson picks it up, takes down ILTW, and over to the side, Mind Control is getting run down, blocked off by Seb, as OG, they won't get the kill on Roche, but they get what matters. Thompson grabs the Aegis, and they'll take the team fight around the pit.
It feels like if they don't get that Aegis, the game is probably just over very soon.
Spectre has a second life there.
Yeah. So it's very fortunate that they do get for themselves, and they get some big kills on all 3 cores being brought down here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Do lose Ana again, though. He is continuing to just struggle and struggle in this game.
I think, as you said, a lot on this. At the moment, really, you're looking to Thompson to be the carry here as the drought.
Yep.
See what he can do here for the team.
They're respawning. They have Egg. It's level 2 as well.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Zep. Starting to burn.
The combo.
It's tanky, though. Miracle.
They're going to try and go for it.
LTW's in on Thompson.
He's straight away forcing back the drought. Sep, he's going to look to try and take them out of here with the rift. He's up in the air. He's not going to be able to take Saxon back, but he will manage to take home Thompson.
GH tried for a big play there, using the Underlord and then trying to fear Thompson to pull him away from it. Almost gets it successfully, but
that's a big brain.
Yeah, that was actually so big brain when I saw it. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty cool, but doesn't actually connect with it. And now OG, they didn't go back that far. They are looking to still continue trying to fight. Since Egg is down and Haunt is down,
you still have this Aegis now. Thompson's going to feel very strong right now with that second life. They have Omni Slash ready to go, OG.
Dire are scanning.
Still playing from behind here, down 10 to 24, 6k lead for Nigma. But they're making sure that Nigma doesn't grow any further.
They keep getting on top of Miracle. This time, though, Hastrun, and he does have Kuroki behind him. Kuro also picking up the shard. Didn't get to point that out quickly as we did hit 20 minutes. The Sunray during that Egg, very potent. GH.
Sax is looking for this.
It's hunting him.
He's got him. He's in.
Round TP. Doesn't go for it. And he'll get brought down.
Catch up with me.
Thompson will be happy with that. Able to walk over, claim the kill for himself.
And now they will at least have some better forms of catch and better forms of initiation. Also on OG is Seb, he's got his Atos. Very good item, especially versus that Tiny. Gonna be quite effective.
We'll see Thompson has, they did the full Hurricane Pike, so he himself.
Radiant's middle tower is
a lot
under
more
attack.
ways to slide around the team fights.
They've slowed down the game quite nicely here.
They have.
Spectre.
4k lead now for Nigma. It is beginning to dwindle.
Still scary.
Dire's bottom tower.
The Spectre is massive, and once he does get the Fusel, it's easier for him to stick on these targets, in particular the Drow, because he can cast that slow when he is gusted anyway, so he can just stick on top of Drow inside of these fights. As Nigma's looking to fight.
Let's see what GH can do here.
Got the Egg.
Set up, Thompson quickly pops the Manta over to the side. Mind Control TP'd in, but it gets caught out by the hook shot. The console put back the two of them. They're trying to get GH out of there, but GH is going to go down. The Supernova's popped. They're trying to focus. It can only
gonna die?
take down the Egg in time. I don't think they can. They can't. The Supernova successful. Kuro managing to stun the 3 of them. Seb's looking to bail them out. Rift out, ready to take Thompson and Hotel home. He's able to do so. So Seb will limit the casualties here for OG. Ends up being a 1-for-1.
That was close. Oh, no. Omni Slash now down.
Another time to fight.
Ana continuing to struggle, as we said, not an easy game for the Jug.
A lot of little things like that that's going to break his opportunity of getting on someone.
In ILTW, he's got the defusal finished up, with Haunt available too. So might even just TP back to base soon to be able to be at the ready to fight if they do find something. Let's see, TP's back, picks it up, and let's...
Ooh, they really wanted to catch Miracle there.
They had the sentries ready too, because he does have that invis in the bottle.
Got a minute left on this Aegis, Thompson. So.
Level 18 too, so he's got level 3 marksmanship up.
Oh, mind control. Saxa.
He's got a BKB. Should be just fine versus Saxa down here.
Oh, yeah, Saxa doesn't want to waste time messing with this.
No. They're going to push out the top wave, while OG tries to pick this fight while they still have Aegis for 30 seconds. Egg also going to be back up soon. They also find themselves a ceremonial robe on the side of Team Nigma. So Miracle will carry that one for now. Also, just, I mean, that item overall, like when you have the overall like dominant team fight and you get a robe, it just feels so good because you just have even more dominant fight. Because they are under some ward vision here. So he's trying to make a grab.
He's going to try and lead it onto Miracle. He's got him caught in the cogs there. But the back of the courage is coming out for the side. The Sunbreak keeping Miracle alive. Is it enough though? The Fair will try and push them back, but not before Miracle goes down.
Healing ward full duration as well too, so they're all full HP, even though they tank that Sunray. Nice grab from Saxa. No Force Stabs being picked up. Important to point out on the side of Team Nigma. Not just yet. Yules on the Dark Willow. Just more greedy items coming out from the two supports. So these hook shots will be effective on this tiny in most situations.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
3k gold lead now.
They're holding on to this, OG. They really are. Thompson incredibly farmed. Only just behind that of Mind Control. As said, into the AC next, looking to move into the Ags after.
Okay. Stanky. Oh, DD bottom.
Thompson
finds himself an Orb of Destruction as well, too.
Oh, it's a lot of damage.
Look at that, 504 per hit.
Mind Control.
He's just hiding for now.
They're not going to search any further down here. Whoever Thompson finds, no tell will find.
Oop. They see each other for a second.
Yep. Thompson's still looking for a Miracle found him.
Thompson.
He's on the Thompson. They've got the healer wall coming out. The Supernova's in place. There's Thompson. They try and focus it. Then we have to take him down. But Thompson, he's dead. Alpha 70. Seth will manage to take the rest of them back. But Thompson goes down. Of course, the Aegis have come to an end. And so, along with that, will Thompson's life.
Such quick plays coming out, too. They instantly try to rift him out of there, but not quite able to. They bring down the egg, though. Very quick focus fire every single time here. The Jug, the Drow, very effective to be able to do that. Nigma, they do get that initiation to be able to get Thompson. Ana. Be a little careful. Got the spin popped already.
His TP's on cooldown, and he has got a lot of backup. OG's here with the fourth, and he has Omni Slash at the ready if Ana wants to get back in. So over to the side, Saxa. Focus by the combo, Miracle Saxa. Still alive somehow here, but finally Mike John's able to take him down with the damage here. Miracle is focusing No-Tail. No-Tail also trapped in the trees. So OG, they try and poke back. It won't work out. Nigma more than happy to take a fight on these guys.
I think OG really has to just wait for Thompson in most of these situations. He's so important just for the damage and even just the marksmanship aura.
Miracle's in. Darling is on the set. They're just doing so much while Thompson's dead. A double buyback comes out from OG in an attempt to catch Nigma here on the retreat.
Bail them away.
Saxon does have the hook shot if he's able to close in on this.
They get an angle though. It doesn't quite look like it just yet.
That's 2 buybacks there, forced out. And nothing to be lost because of it on Nigma. They get everybody out in time.
And these buybacks, it's usually very crucial to save them for these big Roshan engagements. That does mean OG's not going to have them. If these two heroes go in first and they die, they won't be able to come back into the fight. It's very important because that's where the next fight's very likely to kick off, as the ultis on Team Nigma will be coming back up shortly. 30 on Spectre, 15 on the Nature's Prophet. So definitely going to see some warding in the area from both sides very soon. Oh, I wonder if the Spectre does go for this build. LTW's got a pretty funky one. It's got the Arcane Blink queued up after Basher. I wonder if he does go for it. That'd be the first time I've ever seen something like that. But
if he's going Arcane, I want to see him get Axe as well, I'll be honest.
I mean, I would really much so prefer just a Scotty in this lineup versus a Jug versus a Drow. So effective.
Think about it.
Think about
the cooldown, and the style points. You know, everyone's trying to do something different. Everyone wants to be a trendsetter, especially out of these two teams. You know it. These players like to bring something new to the table.
Ana just getting diffused up for some harass. Nigma has everything available for themselves right now. Split pushing the side lanes, both of these offlaners doing the kind of same thing. My Control pushing top, Seb forcing down bottom. Seb nearly has his AC finished up. That's going to be pretty huge for his team. There's not a lot of just like straight physical damage on Nigma, but that'll still help a lot. He's got it. Pure damage. Too much.
Getting torn apart here by RTW. That's been dead for 100 seconds.
Is under attack.
And Roche is going to be up in 5 seconds as well.
Saxa, he's able to come with a hook jump, but Miracle's quick with a response. Jumps in, blows up Saxa.
Gus, the silence.
Trying to push him with the Blade Fury. GH ready at the side to help out. Anna starting to back off. It's over to the side. Mind Control's coming, looking towards top to the Supernovas pop. They've got to start running away here.
Thompson, he's in trouble.
He's being trapped here by the brambles. They're in on top of him. Thompson can't run. He's 3 dead on OG. Maybe before Anna. He's got the Blade Fury TP. They've not got anything to put a stop to it. So Anna makes it out. It's 3 dead. It's easily going to be enough window here for Nigma to take this Roche down with 3 heroes down for pretty much a minute.
Yeah, and a clutch fear tip from My Control onto GH. As soon as they pop the egg, he fears into the back line, catches Thompson, and from there they can just chase him out and clean it up.
And this is, I mean, who's taking the shard here this game?
They can give it to either Miracle or ILTW, I do think. Feels pretty effective on the 2 of them here.
Yeah, you're right. Looks like Miracle's going to take it. We see back in the action here, Stacks are desperately trying to help out, but Miracle able to wait for the counterplay, gets in with the combo, and still, just with the lead that some of the heroes on Nigma have,
and
very hard for Anna to have an impact, especially when there's just so many units. These Omni Slashes are so hard to just sort of find the perfect situation to drop them.
And if he uses spin in those situations aggressively, that means that they can't spin and hit the egg as effectively. He can't be as covered either.
No, it's a hard jug game.
Yeah, it is. It's just been very difficult for Ana the entire game here as Nigma 14k gold lead, re-secure their position in the game. And now just have a clear window to be able to dominate most of these fights.
That's funny Kuro's got as well. He's working his way very close towards the Aghanims.
Oh, okay.
The seeds of force.
Lots of luxury on these supports for sure on the side of Team Nigma this time around. Outpost will be taken away as well. GH will claim that. ILTW does buy the old dealer, by the way. He's being sensible. He's being a sensible boy.
As much as I'd like to see the Arcane Blink Spectre,
oh, the Brute! The Global Brute! You can't TP out, even though the stun isn't there for the Spectre. The Global Brute, it's beautiful. Saxa inevitably brought down from the Spectre.
And there's going to be some more chaos being brought here as well.
And he's TPing the base and getting mana, so he's going to be able to haunt back in the fight if it does kick off. So OG not going to look to take the fight themselves. They're just going to ditch No Tail. 80 seconds, no Enchantress.
Oh my goodness. I mean, there was sort of a moment this game where it kind of felt like, hey, maybe OG's managing to slow this down, and then a few moments later, no, they weren't. They really weren't at all. Nigma back to full steam ahead here.
It really is such a tough game for them to really win any of the actual team fights just because of what they're up against. Like this Spectre and Phoenix, the early game went way too well for Team Nigma. They're all so farmed. You can constantly just look for these fights. Seb nearly having AC to be able to counteract the opposing AC that Mind Control has. But yeah, Mind Control, the reason that he's been always known as like this best Nature's Prophet for the last few years. Top net worth, 9-3-14, the build. Excellent this game. It really did feel like the perfect game for it here.
Maybe Miracle.
Oh, I got the damage with the quiver as well too. Like, doesn't even have to use the E-Blade. The quiver damage plus that combo, it's too much. Ana? Ana?
Dominating performance.
He's just dead.
Oh, no.
This game is quite impossible.
It's a pretty tough one, and things are falling rapidly apart. I mean, this one, I just overall, the lead that Nigma's grown is... It's making it look even more one-sided than game one.
Yep.
Considering this was a game as well where OG had... I said it, sort of a grace period where they were able to slow things down, but the overall game plan just not looking to be there from OG as Nigma. They've just come in with the smarter execution and they're outplaying them completely. And as you say, mind control of the Prophet. Maybe something that OG just weren't ready for. I mean, it's mind control. You know his Prophet's insane. As you say, we just don't see the hero too much from most teams, if any, in this region. Mind control, just showing us that he's as scary as ever on it.
Yeah, and it's smart picks from Nigma, right? They see the early Drow, they pick the Spectre to counter it.
They're trying to jump RTW here.
Heals. It's too much.
It is. RTW just barely taking any damage at all without Sunray coming up. The Sunray does come to an end though. See the fear from the side, trying to push them back. RTW is going to get rooted. They'll bring him down once. They can't do it again though. OG's got to back away with the Supernova going off. Over to the side, No-Tail caught outside the base. The Brambles are down. No-Tail surrounded as they'll bring the Enchantress slowly out of the game. Zana.
Omni.
The Omni.
She's there. And Sprouts.
Just at the full HP. Anna's trying to push him with the Flame Fury onto Miracle. Will bring down the Tiny, but now the Flame Fury coming to an end. Anna's got to run. Mind control commits him with the BKB. Kuro moving in with the Sunray as Kuro will finally fall to the Firestorm. But ILTW on mind control, they just smash into Thompson, take down the Drow. Another fight where OG just cannot come out on top.
Fortunate to even get some kills there if they do that high ground advantage to be able to take out at least the Phoenix and the Tiny. But yeah, ILTW, as we said, with that Aegis, level 25, he's got that Dispersion talent plus the heals. They barely can actually hurt him. They even bring him down to once. Mind control, 7,400 gold for this man.
Oh, he's got the Trickster cloak as well if he wants to keep hold of it, ILTW, so...
Very nice pick.
Even more unkillable Saxa. 2 rounds of the hook shot, but it's time for Seb to come in, but ILTW in fact just jumps straight over the wall instead. Moves in with the illusion, Seb's gone. So is Saxa.
Now No-Tail, he's trapped.
I mean, ILTW mind control, they're just going to keep pushing on. Anna's got to run. Toss the Blade Fury, he's making his way up to the base. RTW, he's tempted to chase.
He sure is.
He's moving in. There's no Blade Fury. There's no Omni Slash. Anna just dying helpless here behind the tier 3 in the barracks.
The Spectre's just way too massive. No-Tail also likely to get brought down. Does have the Glimmer to survive for some time, but that does mean the Rax is going to get focus fired. And so, mind control gets the secondary Sprout.
He's just going mind control. He doesn't care about the tier 4 towers.
Impossible.
Oh, BKB.
He's fine. BKB.
And now Seven's
ready to take Seb as well.
Oh, he's just dead.
Oh my goodness.
That was a buyback into an instant death, and they're going to get healed up in the stun.
Mind control's out. ILTW is in no situation of threat at all. He'll TP away.
Radiant's
But the creeps will finish the Rax. And Miracle comes in for the final hit.
Shot. Oh, beautiful.
He's caught Kuro, Saxa.
Can they get the kill, though? The
I don't
Brute,
think
he's
they
stuck in
can.
place, and he cannot chase forward. Seb may have been tanky for some time, but versus this pure damage, Desolate just rips right through him time and time
just
again.
having a fantastic series on the carry.
Yeah.
Both games, TB, and then this one, the Spectre. Feels like he's getting even more involved this time round, and there he has it. He's found the illusion escape for himself. So
Oh, baby.
his threat at the Spectre's going to be even bigger if he wants to hold on to that one.
If he even needs it. I feel like Trickster Cloak might just be better at this point.
Well, you
because
sort of
of
just take
how tanky he is.
He's killing
honestly.
everyone anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't even
about
need
a
it.
slight boost to the illusion damage.
Yeah, look at this. Just you see, like the way that ILTW understands too. He's like, oh, who cares if Seb's tanky? I have pure damage. Rips right through the Underlord when he's isolated.
Oh, just looking fantastic this series, Nigma. They have turned up to this series very, very ready, and OG just... What do they do? Mind control, BKB and TPO, he's out. Again, GH giving the coverage with the fear, making sure that OG's not allowed the time space to continue to commit in onto the mind control.
Saxa will die again. 14 deaths on the clock.
Level 27.
27. Trickster Cloak as well, providing all this evasion.
Found the avalanche, mind control ready to jump forward to the front line. RTW, they take down No-Tail. Anna's trying to spin his way over the Blade Fury, but the damage is too much for the physical. They take down Anna, take down Saxa.
The G's are going to get dropped.
I mean, it's getting dangerously close to the fountain here now. Omni Slash, again, just doing nothing at this stage of the game as it's a die back from Anna. Zed, he's going to try and rift himself out of the server. Only makes it as far as the fountain as everybody's dead. GG is called. Another rough one here for OG as Nigma have just a beautiful series. Both games, Team Nigma looking perfect.
They Dart. And it's really crazy to say, it's 50 kills on the team with a Spectre. The team with the Drow Jug only gets 17. Can't actually dictate the pace at all. Nigma just on another level today. They hit their stride, super early aggression. Everybody on point working so well together. OG falling apart to this aggression.
A tough series.
Very tough.
A lot of deaths were had this series. Poor old Sax. I think Saxer ended up dying, what, 31 times in these two games. Not an easy game.